Hello riders, it's Josh from CycleHunters.com. We have the bike on the lift. Matt's getting ready to work on it. We're going to go out and do a little bit of a video just to see what the progress is, where we're at. It's the beginning stages of everything. So let's check it out. What you got going on, Matt?
Oh, I got the bike completely torn apart. That was actually a really easy process. Less than an hour. Strip down apart. And before anybody thinks that we're taking off OEM plastic and putting on aftermarket bodywork, I assure you this bike was a hodgepodge. So stuff like this rear section here. Oh, dropping stuff. So this rear section here is actually an OEM Honda part. It says Honda right on it. And we'll actually do a comparison of this and the aftermarket so you guys can see this ABS stuff is no joke. It's not as high a standard, but as close as they can get for the price. You know, would you agree, Josh?
I have to. You know, doing the unboxing, it makes you see real quick just how close everything really is.
Yeah, but this is an aftermarket piece. This is not OEM Honda, and you can tell just in the way that it's made. It's not terrible, but
yeah, you can usually tell in the finish. It's not. It's
yeah, this is not.
It's a little wonky in some senses of it.
So we're not just taking off OEM stuff and putting on aftermarket.
But you look at the aftermarket from ABS Plastics.
Oh, it looks great.
And then you look at the aftermarket from whoever this was. Obviously really similar. However, yeah, I mean, you can definitely feel a difference. You can see a difference in terms of even how the gloss is applied. So it's just, if you know what you're looking at, you'll really see it. If you don't, you probably go, well, something's just not quite right with it.
Yeah. So we are, again, in the process of just getting this stuff together. Checking everything. Now, you guys did a good job of checking to make sure that all the stuff was squared away, so I don't have any worries there, but it's just getting everything fitted up and ready. I think I'm going to start actually in the rear, so I'm going to go grab the rear section out of here. Next, pair.
This bike probably needs a wash.
It'll definitely need a wash.
Probably should wash it before we start fitting stuff.
That's good to me.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have to do that. She's pretty dirty. Yeah.
Here's the ABS. Here's the OEM. I mean, it's really close. Things like right around the keyhole there, you know, you've got, it's actually a circle on the ABS, whereas some aftermarket, man, it's not even close. They just rough cut everything. Whereas this,
yeah,
they take the time and like I said, the finish work. If you didn't know, I think you have a hard time discerning between them. I really do. So it's good stuff. But so that's, you know, kind of the ABS compared to the OEM. I'm gonna have Josh give this thing a quick shining, quick scrub down, and then I will start the process of putting all this stuff back together. Like I said, it came apart real quick, and it's going to go together just as quickly. I think the 600s, especially the Hondas, they come apart pretty easy. It was surprising actually how fast I got that apart. Once she's shined up, we'll get started on the assembly process. So now I hand it off to you, Josh. Hey, Joshy.
Hey.
So a little bit of a progress update, progress report. Everything has been fitting pretty well, actually. The only thing I ran into an issue with is the shield that they provided. It's not that it doesn't fit. It fits the bolt holes just fine. It's just when it comes down here, I was having a little bit of a fitment issue there. So I put the old shield back on, and it's nothing that you couldn't correct. I just happen to have the, this aftermarket shield and it fit well. So this is something here, if you just need to kind of relief this a little bit so that it would fit a little bit better around the front section here. It's not a deal breaker, and it's not that you couldn't use this. It's just I didn't like the way it looked when I had it on there, so I just used the old shield. But I mean, really, is that really an issue?
No, I mean the other shield's just as nice, but yeah, I mean.
And it's like I said, it's not
with
something that wouldn't work.
We would just have to really take a sander to it, basically, and then.
Yeah, and we got to get this stuff done in a
yeah, we don't have a lot
fashion.
of time to do all that.
We can't spend an hour or so getting that perfect, so we already had something to fit. But everything else has bolted right up. I was able to use the original pieces, like these side pieces here are all the Honda stuff. And I like to try and use the Honda stuff where I can. And on most aftermarket plastics, you can't do this.
Right.
It just does not work. You have to use their stuff that they provide, whereas, the ABS fairings, and this is the second time I've done this, I was able to use a lot of those, inserts from the Honda stuff, which in my opinion is nice that you have that option. So, if you do have a bike like we do where it's mostly complete and, you just want to put the fairings on and you can just put all the OEM stuff on, you could do that. Or if you have a bike that is completely a wreck, at least you have that option to put those pieces on. So that's been going well. I can take you into the other room and show you what we've been doing over there, because I gotta bring this with actually. This off here and we'll go head on over to the other room. Alright, so I'm gonna hang this, maybe I'll just set it down over here real quick. That down out of the way. So what I'm working on here is the other gas tank shroud. Has this nice foam insulation in here. It's basically to keep the engine noise to a minimum on the bike, keep it from rattling a lot. So we got a ton of this heat shielding. They sent us quite a bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just making little templates to fit up our own little shielding on our aftermarket tank there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just marking up these templates so that I have something close, and then that way when I put it together it's going to serve the same function, because this is that, that's that material. It's kind of soft and malleable just like this here, so it's going to offer that same sound deadening that this stuff did OEM. So that's all I'm doing right there. A little bit of progress update, and then once I get this done, pretty much the top half of the bike will be assembled, and then we can take a look at that. And then the only thing I have to worry on and focus on is the lower fairings, where I'll have to use more of the heat shielding, because that's where it's going to go around the engine, around the exhaust, and that's where it's going to prolong these plastics. And because even the OEMs use heat shielding, you have to, because if you don't, it's going to melt the plastics, because you're dealing with a lot of heat on these engines. So I'm going to keep plugging away at this, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Are we Joel approved so far?
Goodbye.
No?
No, not approved.
We're not approved yet.
Go away.
We're not approved yet. We
Yet.
are on the road to approval.
You've got Matthew working for you. That's all you need to worry about, man.
Okay.
You got the right guy. Put our top man on the job.
Hello riders, it's Josh from CycleHunters.com. Today, we're showing you the 2012 Honda CBR 600RR that we had done the ABSfairings.com kit on. Look at this thing. Now, as we get into this, because of the fact that these are all brand new ABS plastics, there's no blemishes on the fairings at all. If you're going to see any kind of blemishes on this bike, you might find like tiny little ones on the wheel like that. But maybe this little bit right here, and that's about it. So you don't really have much to see in terms of any blemishes. But you can see that we are finally done. Matt got the ABS fairing kit all fit onto the bike. Everything fits super nice. The guys at absfairings.com had really done a great job. So when you're looking for a fairing kit and you want something that's going to match up to your particular bike, like its factory, this is the way to go. Now, as you're looking at this, check it out. I know I showed you this in the unboxing video. All of that is cleared over. So you got yourself a really nice quality paint job on these fairings. All of these little spots where normally on some of the aftermarket fairings they don't quite match up properly, well, this stuff matches up just as though it's an OEM fairing. We don't really, I mean, we got the job done rather quickly, so there wasn't a whole lot that we have to do in terms of, you know, making sure stuff tries to fit in there or trying to force any of it, because it all matched up properly, which is what you want as a rider, especially if you're doing this on your own. You don't want to be dealing with any of that stuff. You want it just to pop on pretty much and be done. Now, with the fact that, you know, you're going to get a kit, and it is a kit, so you have a bunch of different things that you have to do by taking off all the fairings and putting this stuff on properly. You also need to make sure when you get your fairing kit, you get your heat shielding. Now you can see that in there down by the exhaust. These are coming off the header, so that's going to be some hot exhaust going through those pipes. It's on the inside here as well. So this stuff on the inside there and here, you're gonna want to make sure that you put that on there, obviously, because you don't want your fairings to melt. Thus, the heat shielding. That is all available through the website. You can also pick different color bolts if you wanted to. We just went with the standard. These are all brand new. It just, again, what we were looking for is something that's really a little understated, but it screams Honda. And not much else screams Honda, to me at least, which is the Honda red in the wings. So it's kind of tough to beat that. I really love that look. And it's a very simple, minimalistic design. The only thing that I had said I'd want to do, probably in the last video, was to find some wheel tape. Well, because of the season is upon us, it is crazy right now at the shop. Bikes are flying out of here. We just really had to get this one out ready to go. If the customer wants it, I'd be more than happy to get the wheel tape. I would love to see it with it. It's just that sitting there in the back there waiting for wheel tape to come is just going to be a little too much. And we wanted to really make sure that the wheel tape would match. So it's kind of tough to do that. But you can see without it, it just looks great no matter what. CBR 600RR, inline 4, 599cc motor, 600 class super sport. This is the race bike for that year. So this also has the Two Brothers aftermarket exhaust, which you're going to get to hear. New rubber. Look at all the meat on that. And again, you're really not going to see anything as far as scratches, blemishes, not much in the way of any of that stuff because all the plastics are brand new. Gorgeous bike, beautiful machine. It's a Honda too, for crying out loud, so there's not much you got to really worry about other than jump on it, thumb the starter, get going down the road, and enjoy the ride. Put a big smile on your face, because the freedom of riding is probably one of the coolest things that you can't explain to somebody. And when you're on a machine that is sort of the extension of you, and it looks and feels like you want it to, then it just heightens the experience. It's so hard to explain this stuff to people that don't ride. Hey, how do you guys explain it to somebody? Give me some comments down below. I'm really curious about that, because I always try to find ways to explain it to somebody. But, you always just get to the point where, really, look, you need to go ride. Which I would imagine that's pretty much what most of you guys are having to do anyway, because of the fact that it is so incredibly difficult to describe such a great feeling. This bike, the controls are very simple. High beam, low beam, turn signal, and your horn. You have your engine start stop, your ignition, and then your dash is really a nice simple dash. So you can see centrally located tach, your fuel gauge on the left, speedometer digital on the right, with your trip meter over here. You can see you can toggle between those. They're all zeroed out. This bike has 6,584 miles, so for 2012 model, really not a lot of mileage. You have your clock and your temperature gauge, your neutral light, you have your indicator lights, your high beam, low beam light, and your engine light, and then I'm sure you have some other warning lights as far as temperatures and things like that. But up here in the top left, you have your toggling and your reset for your trip. Simple stuff. Turn signals. These are stock OEM stalks. You have the full tail, which is a stock tail kit for your plate holder. That's your left front, and then we're going to do right front and right rear. And then you cancel it just by pushing it in. And you have a foot brake. Now you have a light up here for your brake light and one down here. So you get double the light action. And that was foot brake. This is hand brake. So a lot of red going on there. All right. One of the things about Hondas too that a lot of people don't really catch, but most of the hardcore sport bikes, your bars or your clip-ons are below the triple tree. So these are actually above the triple tree, which gives you a little bit more comfortability on a street, everyday type of a bike. Look, this is the homologated race bike for the Super Sport Championship of that year. So they would more than likely put different clip-ons on them, a little bit lower. Suspension's probably changed to an Ulan style or something like a Marzocchi maybe, but you would have something a little bit more aggressive for the bike in the race configuration. But for a street bike, which Honda primarily, that's what their focus is when they build a super bike or a super sport. It's supposed to be a street bike, but they want it as close as they can these days to the actual race bike so that when you get it, if you want to go to the track, pretty easy thing to do is just take off the turn signals, lights, and mirrors. You know, you're going to tape up the front headlights for that type of a thing. But the next thing is fire this baby up. Oh, yeah. Two Brothers attitude tucked up underneath the tail. And you got your kit, the bearing kit. It's a whole lot of uniqueness, a whole lot of attitude. And it just looks right. It sounds right. That's what you want to hear. Sounds awesome. Oh yeah. That is what you want. You know, the camera doesn't do it justice, of course, but you know, when you have such a really cool bike like that, I'm sure you've heard them before, but this is just, yeah, sounds great. That's low beam and high beam. Now, in some of the other videos that I've shown with the cat eye style headlights, you're going to have one on the one side, which is the low, and then you want high beam. They both come on, so you're not missing a bulb or something like that. That's really how they are. And then you have your little driving light up top here. Boy, the other thing that would look cool on this bike is a light kit, which we also do light kits. We use boogie lights and custom dynamics lights. Just depends on the package that you're looking for. We can do that. But look, awesome 600 super sport, incredible condition, fully service inspected in detail. Every bike that we have goes through a 48-point checklist so that when you get it, it's as close as we can make it to new. They also come with the battery tender lead so that when you're done riding for the day, you just come in, plug it right back in, get your battery topped off, you're ready to go. You know, every bike that we sell comes with a full tank of gas too. I mean, we go through them as thoroughly as we possibly can, because our best advertisement is the product leaving here and you happy with it, telling somebody else about it. We are riders taking care of riders, and we really take that seriously. It's something that we enjoy doing, and we want you to enjoy too. And the best way to have that happen is the bike has to be as best as we can make it. So if you are digging the 2012 Honda CBR 600RR with the ABS fairing kit, give us a call, 717-273-1809. You can see the full list of inventory at www.cyclehunters.com. You can email us at cyclehunters@gmail.com. We have aftermarket warranties available, some financing options available. We can deliver bikes in some cases and ship them. It just comes down to what is it that we need to do to help accommodate you so that can be in your garage when it's time to go ride. So you wake up or get ready to go to work, that thing's staring at you. Probably take the long way. I know I would. Just so I can twist the throttle so I can hear that exhaust too. But it's such a good looking bike. And when you have something like that and it's an extension of you, makes you feel good. There's so much that you can talk about when you're talking about riding and why we ride. How do you explain that to somebody? Give me some comments below. Let me know what you think as far as when you talk to people. What is it that you say to people that have never ridden before? How do you explain that to them? Because it's probably one of the most difficult experiences to actually put into words. But this, just looking at it, kind of makes you want to go ride. I know I do. But you know what? It's kind of wet and snowy outside today. The season's underway very soon. So you can purchase this bike check it out on the website. You can come in and check it out too. If you have any questions, give us a call, leave some comments, like and subscribe. But anyway, if you like the fairing kit, let us know. Let me know what your thoughts are. And again, go check out their stuff at absfairings.com. You won't be disappointed. You can check out the unboxing video for more information there. But my friends, until the next bike, happy riding.
That's Joel approved.